True spiritual mastery is the art of experiencing life to its fullest. Now, if you think that you have gone through an awakening just because maybe you walk barefooted, you don't eat any meat, you do all these physical external things, and you think that is actually the true spiritual mastery, you are quite wrong. Now, spirituality is not like a way of life. It's not like a lifestyle whereby now you say I'm spiritual, you start wearing I don't know what bracelets, you start wearing crystals, you say this, they cleanse me, they give me this. That is simply a lack of understanding of what spirituality actually means. Okay, spirituality is not all about what you do externally, because that is how the world operates. They mainly focus on the actions. You have to wear this, you have to do this. No, you have to understand the fundamental concepts. And true spirituality is actually learning or realizing that you are a spiritual being simply having a human experience. So what do I mean by you are a spiritual being having a human experience? Quite simply, you are the experience of your own reality. You are the experiencer. You are not the experience, you are the experiencer. What do I mean by that? The experiencer is basically awareness. Let me go deep. Okay, now I want you to think deeply a bit about what I'm about to say. Now, everything which you have gone through in your life, there is the thing that is happening, and there has always been you, the centered inner self that is experiencing what is happening. So let's say you're going through a heartbreak. There is that happening of the heartbreak, and there is you who is processing whatever is happening. You're always experiencing pain, joy, suffering. Okay, so you as the experiencer, you experience life through two channels, like I usually say. The first channel is what we call the internal objects, things such as thoughts, emotions, beliefs. These are things which are somewhat or to some extent imaginary, because you can't see them physically, yet they still exist. Okay, and this is why you have to also know the power of imagination, because thoughts are simply things that your mind creates. They are mental constructs. Okay, so those are the first things which you experience in life. They are called internal objects. Then we have external objects. These are things that you interact with physically. Let's say you see them, you touch them, you feel them, you taste them, you listen to them. So those are the two channels in which we do what we experience the world. But these two things are always changing. They are never permanent. They are always temporary. You cannot say that you have always been happy all your life. No, even the Bible itself, it says that there is a time and season for everything, a time for good, a time for bad, a time for happiness, a time for sadness. Okay, so those things, the internal objects and the external objects, are always changing. Even your own body is subject to this principle, because your body is not who you are. Your body is just a vessel that you use to experience. It's a vessel. The you is the awareness behind the body. Okay, so those things always change, but that awareness factor, that awareness quality is always the same, and that is who you are. So you don't change. You never change. What changes is the illusion, but the truest essence never changes. The same way you experience life when you're a 20-year-old is the same way you just experience it as a 60-year-old. That quality of the experiencer is always the same. So when you center yourself in that rooted seat of awareness, whereby when things unfold in your life, you don't get attached or you don't resist whatever is happening. So when things happen, you realize that this is just the life, the energy of life, the life flow is unfolding in this way. And my job is to experience it. And to experience it, I simply mean that you are in the present moment with it. You are aware of it. You are giving your attention to what is happening in the now. Okay, that is why we say the present moment is the gift of life. That's why it's called the present, because the past is history, the future is mystery, but now is the present. It's a gift because it's a surprise. I don't know what is going to unfold in the next 20 minutes. I might have some power, some willpower to exercise what I want to do, but I cannot for 1 second, nor can you, actually depict exactly how it's going to unfold. That is why everything which you experience in life, your mind could never predict it accurately. It happens in a way you couldn't tell. Maybe it went the way you wanted, but it's not in the way that you thought it was going to go down. And that is why clinging or trying to project into the future to control what is going to unfold is actually an illusion. So true spiritual mastery is this art of being centered in your own seated self, or your state of being, where your being is seated. That is awareness, whereby when things unfold, you experience them and you release them. That is the art of letting go. You experience them and you release them. You don't get attached to them. You don't resist what is happening. You simply understand that whatever is happening are the objects that I have to experience, but they do not define who I am. They do not get to make the kind of identity of who I am. And when you live like this, you will never be in a state of fear, in a state of anxiety, because you know that everything is temporary and they are always changing. So nothing is permanent. When you're going through rough moments, you understand that this is how the universal field works, because in the third dimension we have duality. Things have to happen in two polar opposites. So when the negative side of the polar opposite comes, you don't resist it. And when the positive side comes, you don't cling to it. You live in a balanced state. Remember, the moment you live balanced, you are not attached and you don't resist. And in that state, you are open to receive all the greatness that the universe or God or the source or whatever is going to bring into your life. And that is true spiritual mastery. So if you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you are hitting a like, and also we have that blue button that says subscribe. Please hit that button, because whenever I post content, you will be the first to get notified, and you're going to derive a lot of quality from these contents. And if you also want to work one-on-one with me in our self-mastery coaching sessions, please DM me. Look at the description of the video. There are links to my accounts on how you can reach me, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe, stay blessed, and stay awakened.